Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today's video will be all about the FIMI X8 Mini and doing my first proper flight. Now, I have managed to do one flight previously for a couple of minutes where I did my video comparison with the DJI Air 2S, the Mini 2 and the Mavic Mini. And there is some history behind all of this. So I got this drone, pretty much I was one of the first YouTubers to get hold of this drone. And I was absolutely plagued with issues and I simply could not get this drone up in the air. I couldn't get it to stay connected to the controller, alright? Getting constant disconnections. I did a video on this subject and you can access it using this card. Now, very simply, about a week and a half ago, I got a notification to say that the app had been updated, the drone had been updated, there's some new firmware, so I thought I'll give it a go. Put the battery in and attempted to update the firmware. Managed to update the firmware, it kept connection, so I thought, right, let's head out and do a little 2-minute video, with which I did when I did that video comparison. But that's all I did, all right? And then what I've done is I've then gone back out and I have taken this drone out for a proper test and a proper flight. Now, here's the interesting thing. As you can see on screen, as I got out on location, I also got another firmware update. So quickly updated the firmware whilst I was on location, and then I'm all ready to go, just about to start the drone, just about to click the auto takeoff, and as you can see I get another disconnection. Now, I'm stood right next to the drone. This has got an incredible range. Is it something like 8km range, 10km range, that sort of FIMI advertise, and then obviously I'm stood right next to it and I got the disconnection. And I thought, here we go, back to square one. I'm still having these problems, but nah. It happened, and for no reason, I was stood right next to it, and obviously you've just seen the screen record, and I did nothing other than start the recording and try to take off. So anyway, what I did is very promptly just turn the controller off, turn the drone off, close down the app, and then redid everything again, started everything back up, and then I got the drone to make a connection. I then decided, do you know what, sod it, whatever happens, happens. Let's get this drone in the air and just see what I think. Now, this is quite a long video, to be perfectly honest, because there's going to be very minimal editing. I didn't know what to expect, and I just wanted, for my very first flight, considering I'm used to DJI products, I thought I would just get the drone up in the air, record my screen, and you can come along for the ride with me, and I'll tell you my honest thoughts on this drone. I'm just going to play around with some of the menus, play around with some of the flight modes, just see how it does. Nothing too serious, nothing too in-depth. This is simply a first impressions video. And of course, I am going to go into this drone in a lot more detail. But of course, at the moment, because of the regulations and everything that's going on, I've got one battery. I've got no more batteries. I don't have the Pro battery yet. So one standard battery. This here is going to last about 29-30 minutes. And yeah, let's get on with that flight and let me know what you think at the end. Fired into life. But there you go, right, so it's fired back into life, but you saw that first-hand disconnection. So it is what it is. Right, I'm just going to take off, sod it. Interesting. It's quite loud, actually, for a little mini drone. Let's start the recording again. Auto takeoff completed. It's a fast bugger. Oh, look at this leaning gimbal. Yeah. Well. See, the first thing I've got to comment is, obviously I'm using this as a, I mean, it does seem pretty responsive. I'll give it that. There's no doubt it's a responsive drone. So what do you think the picture quality is like, guys? We're on 93% battery, 92% battery. According to that, we're 200 meters away. And I can pick that up absolutely perfectly fine. I'm going to struggle now because... oh, there we go. Yeah, so, you know, even at 200 meters away, it was quite visible. So it's good at... Just have a look at all these fields here. Keep away from that farmhouse. It doesn't seem too bad. Quite handy. Like I say, we do have that tilted gimbal slightly, and there's a little bit of lag on the controller as well. That is for absolute sure. It's not very responsive. It takes a little millisecond before it actually responds, but is what it is. Like I say, this is a full and fair review, I would hope. I mean, we've got absolutely no wind at all today, so that's not going to be a problem. It's really, really good. I quite like it. Right, so let's back up. Yeah, it's quite nimble, I'll give it that. Right, okay, so let's stop that recording then. Okay, so let's switch and maybe take some photographs, yeah? So as you can see, everything is on neutral and everything is neutral EV. I think that's the best way of doing this. Alright, so we don't need to get that high, 20 meters. Let's just take a photo. There you go. Photo taken succeeded. Quite poor English, but it's not English, is it? It's Chinese. There we go. Right, okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch back into video mode and let's try some of the fun stuff. Right, so all that was recorded in normal, by the way. Obviously, we do have HDR as well. So now let's go for this flight with it in HDR mode then. 76% battery. It's quite strange actually, the more you fly this, the gimbal's a bit... Sometimes it's good and sometimes it's not. It's bizarre. But yeah, there's certainly a little bit of lag. That's quite noticeable. But yeah, it's bloody incredibly agile. Almost turns on a bloody spot. Quite impressed with that. There you go. Doing donuts in the middle of a... Oh dear, I do crap myself up. Right, so let's bring the drone in then. Okay, right, let's stop that recording. Let's now do something that's useful. So let's click HDR. All right, intelligent flight. And then we're not going to explore waypoints at the minute because it's not really ideal. Let's go on Smart Track. Trace. Drag a rectangle around the subject. The drone will trace your target from a different view. Please find an open area and keep away from people and buildings. Okay, so let's just bring the drone in a little bit. There we go. The flight height is too low. Flight height is still too low. The flight height is still too low. Christ. Right, so there we go. Okay, so let's click record. And the drone is following me quite well. It's doing alright. Right, so let's go back into it. No, I don't want to press that. Pressing all sorts of dodgy buttons, I do apologise. Intelligent flight, smart track, profile even. Not parallel, profile. Used to DJI, aren't I? Let's click go. Okay, right, let's try something new. There you go, it's coming around itself. There we go. Keeping me in view quite well. Lost me there, didn't it? Haha. Right. I keep clicking into photo mode and I don't mean to. Get back into HDR, intelligent flight. So obviously, as you can see, we have got sort of in different flight modes. Let's click fixed wing. The drone will switch to fixed wing mode automatically when flight speed is up to 3 meters per second and the height is up to 5 meters for 3 seconds. Right, so let's give this a go then. Let's get some height. We are in fixed wing. Right, so let's push forward. And now I have lifted off the controller and the drone is flying on its own. Then all we need to do is control our bank angle. That's a lot of fun. That's really, really cool. So I'm not even controlling the sticks here. Well, I am controlling the one stick, but I'm not controlling the speed. It's automatically flying on that set speed for me. That's really, really cool. What was that, 59% battery? That's a nice little feature. Right, so let's stop that fixed wing mode then. So let's go back into this flight mode, intelligent flight, and let's click. So cinematic mode should be a slower flight mode. Tripod. So the max speed of the drone is 1 meter per second and lower operation sensitivity. There we go, so let's give that a go then. So we're in tripod mode. There you go, as you can see, with that speed over at the top, but it doesn't control the yaw speed. So we are fixing at that 1 meter per second. But yeah, that'll get you some cinematic footage. You know, there's no denying that. Intelligent flight, cinematic. The brake distance will be lengthened and the angular speed of rotation will be limited to make sure the shooting videos are more stable and smooth. So let's just try that one then. Horrible gimbal tilt. There we go. So we just lifted off and it smoothly came to a halt. Yeah, that's really nice and smooth. So we've been flying for quite some time now and we've still got 47% battery. We're doing well. So let's click into HDR again. And again, I want to try these intelligent flight modes. So tap fly. Tap map to choose target. The drone will fly over there at a default speed in a straight line. If set point of interest, the heading will be locked at the POI. Okay. Right, so tap the map to choose the destination. Now it'd be nice if I could see the satellite view here, but I can't. Right, there we go. So by tapping the screen, we have selected that. And then let's come back out of there. Now we've done that. Flight distance 79 meters. Flight speed, let's ramp that up. Let's click go. There you go, and it is just heading in that direction. That was good. Didn't need to do anything. Now, there we go. This is the interesting one. Tap fly mission completed. Does it return to home? It doesn't look like it, does it? Right then, so what should we try next? Let's click the HDR again. And I think we'll take a couple of photographs. Alright, so let's gain some height. Let's just see how good these come out. Alright, so let's switch to photo mode. So let's take one photo in HDR. Let's take one photo in single. We'll just compare the two at a later date, or I'll pop these on screen as we speak. So again, we've been flying around, we've still got 52% battery. I'm actually quite impressed with this drone. So let's have a look at some of the other features then. Limit of flight speed. So let's reduce that to 5 meters per second. Obviously I'm screen recording. And then let's go forward. We've managed to gain 5.1, 4.9. So yeah, that's a good, again, a clever little intelligent flight mode. So if you wanted to potentially track a subject and you knew how fast it was traveling, that would be quite useful. I've not noticed or had any signal issues so far, but of course I've not really flown very far whatsoever. But yeah, interesting. So let's put that back up to full flight. So let's click on sport mode then. And let's do a little flight test while I've got some battery left. So let's turn round. Let's see what we can hit. So we're only hitting 14.5, 15, we're supposed to be at 18. So let's just see if it was the wind that was the problem. Yeah, I'm guessing this is down to the battery voltage. We're not getting that high speed. But like I say, it is incredibly nimble. Almost turns on the spot. Really, really responsive when it does respond. I'm quite happy about that. So what was that? 28 minutes flying. We took off on about 6 minutes, I believe. And we've still got 20% battery left. Not too bad. I'm not too upset about that. So let's land the drone. It can't search for the landing map because we didn't put it on one. So we're not testing a precision landing today. So welcome back then, and hopefully you are actually still with me. So this drone. Do you know what? I don't mind it. You know, the return to home worked absolutely fine. The picture quality, now I've had a chance to obviously look back on it and you know, have a quick look. I think the picture quality is all right. It is incredibly nimble and agile. There is absolutely no doubt in that. Some of the flight modes I'm really, really impressed with. I like that fixed wing mode where you can just get to that 3 meters per second, then it just flies in a straight line on its own. You don't need to control speed, you can just, you know, fly around with it. I'm just having a bit of fun with this video, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, is it a serious contender to the DJI Mini 2? Probably not. You'd probably have a bit more confidence in the DJI Mini 2. Overall, if FIMI could just get a nice stable horizon, I don't think that'd be a bad drone. I mean, let's take its price point into account now. Let's be serious. I paid £235 for this drone. It's a lot cheaper. I think if it was around £300 with a case and a couple more batteries, I actually think it'd be quite a serious contender. It sounds quite fun. It's not overly loud, but it is probably a little bit louder than the Mavic Mini. But overall, I think it's not a bad little drone. And like I say, for the money you pay for it, especially with the Hubsan Xeno Mini coming out. But overall, for the money, would I recommend you buy one? It's not bad, actually. You know, the disconnections aside, that's the only problem. It's not too bad. I quite like it. And like I say, I was doing donuts in the air. It was so nimble and fast. I genuinely liked it. Does it feel a bit cheap? No, not really. It feels quite sturdy, if I'm honest. It does feel quite sturdy. The gimbal protector's cheap and crap, but overall it's not too bad. So yeah, if you want to watch my unboxing video, again, you can find the link to that in a card above my head now. But ultimately, yeah, I do apologise, it's been a long video. Just, that's my first flights, and picture quality is not too bad. Overall, a decent price, and it's got some cool flight modes as well. Yeah, not bad, not bad. I hear reports that many people have crashed it, but I haven't. It still works, if I can get up in the air to begin with. But that's another story. Thank you very much for watching, and see you again soon.